if you reduce the amount of waste you have, there's an economic incentive. Or if you're going to increase the amount of waste you have, there's a disincentive by way of fees.
Although, Dustin, last time we saw each other was at the Dubai Municipality meeting, where the head of Dubai Municipality, the Director General, invited us to come along. Invited the recycling industry and said, please tell us what we can do. And I think he got it writ large, introduce a landfill charge and ban export of waste. Do you think that this is starting to work? How does it affect your business, the fact that people can collect waste, export it and get paid for it, or even dump it in a hole in the ground for next to nothing?
Well, it's really an economic question, right? And we have the luxury of living in a place that is generally tax-free, okay? But taxes do serve a purpose, and it's to solve for negative externalities in the society. And when you have something that's perhaps non-value added or less value added, we'll take Mohammed's example of food waste, let's say. It's very difficult to sell your food waste, right? And so you end up throwing it in the landfill, which is generally fine, it's organic material. But if there's a tipping fee associated, there's now a cost for disposing it. And so that's a way for the government to signal to the businesses and of the UAE to say, if you reduce the amount of waste you have, there's an economic incentive. Or if you're going to increase the amount of waste you have, there's a disincentive by way of fees. Now, to answer your question, our fields are quite different in this sense. If you're dealing with the cosmetic, FMCG type products, the food waste, whereas we're dealing with electronic waste, there's an inherent value in the materials that we have. And so we actually face two separate but similar challenges. One is that for the non-valuable materials, everybody wants to dump it as cheaply as possible, get rid of it as quickly as possible. Okay? For the valuable materials, like electronic waste, there's a race to collect it from the market. And the scavengers in the market and the collectors, there actually is a business to be had there. However, it produces its own negative externalities in the form of the hazardous output from the electronic waste. Okay, there are hazardous materials that are produced when you demanufacture the e-waste. So, the question is, like I said, really an economic one. How can you disincentivize low-cost, harmful dumping practices, and how can you incentivize a reduced disposal rate? And really, I think that's what we're playing with at the moment. And if you look in a place like in Europe, let's say, where the taxes are very high, they have very high recycling rates. The penalties for not recycling are in place. The incentive for properly disposing is in place. The gate fee when you buy tires or batteries or electronics, you pay at the beginning when you purchase those items, and that creates a fund that is effectively a tax. That doesn't exist here, but it seems that we're going in that direction, and we certainly welcome it as the people in the industry. It would correct for a lot of the inefficiency.